Good evening, everybody. Welcome to One Hub Racing, back again for round 17 of the season here for the Precision Tiers Japanese Grand Prix. And your commentator Onwa, and with me, as usual, we've got Austin.
So desu ne. Sorry, I was trying to bring a little Japanese flair into the stream. Hello everyone. That's a great way to start it, isn't it? Suzuka, a very historic track, started out as the Honda test track, and the original layout of the track, the first draft of the track, we know this is the only track on the calendar that has a crossover. Well, the first draft had 3 crossovers. Would have been nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that would be quite interesting. That'd be quite difficult to manage, so I can see why they maybe changed it to 1.
Yeah, it would be quite interesting to build as well. I mean, 1, they've solved it with this bridge, but how are you going to do 3?
I guess that's
3 bridges?
Look at any roller coaster, maybe. Maybe that's where they get their inspiration from.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Well,
that's getting dangerous then.
Well, that's probably why they changed it, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, good thing they did, and the good thing they also kept at least 1.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is a very technical track. Very few overtaking opportunities, but they are there. They do exist. One of them being through 130R, and at the very latest, then into the Casio Triangle, turn 16 and 17. Into turn 1, not the easiest opportunity to overtake, but certainly possible, as plenty of F1 drivers have shown us previously. Into the hairpin of turn 11. Again, you need a really good run out of the second Degner to make that happen, but again, certainly not impossible. And then spoon curve as well. I think if you get a good run out of the hairpin, you may be able to get a position out of it.
So actually, when you think about it, there are quite a lot of positions to pass then. And these guys, we know these guys will go for it, given the chance.
Well, you say a lot of positions, but most of these spots are very hard to overtake in. Like, you can, but again, you need a good run out of Degner 2, or a good run out of the hairpin, or a good run out of spoon. Out of spoon should work quite well, and then along the long straight through 130R into the Casio Triangle. But you also need, colloquially, I think the term is balls, to go side by side through 130R, and then into the Casio Triangle, brake later to get the position. And into turn 1, again, if the inside is covered off, you're going to have a very hard time overtaking around the outside. It is possible, but you need the inside line, and the guy ahead usually should cover it off. Unless, I don't know, they're sleeping, or they don't want to fight. They don't want to lose too much time, which is always a consideration a driver has to make.
Yeah, we'll see what they decide to do. Just with the turn 1 overtaking, the issue is, if you get it wrong, you're then not only stuck behind them, but you're also in the dirty air too. And it's the only DRS zone on the track as well, isn't it? The only track on the air we have only one, apart from Monaco.
I was about to say, apart from Monaco, yes, this is one of 2 tracks Japan, where we only have 1 DRS zone. Every other track, at least 2. Some even 3, as we know now. Or not as we know now, but, as it is. And, that makes it even harder. And the reason why there isn't... there could be a DRS zone out of turn 14, out of spoon, right?
Yeah.
Up to 130R. The reason is that generally F1 likes to put DRS zones in front of slow corners and not so much in front of fast corners, because they want to encourage overtaking into heavy braking zones and discourage overtaking into, really corners that, aren't really made for side-by-side racing.
Yeah.
Like 130R. So 130R is the lone reason why this straight before it isn't a DRS straight.
See, I always thought, though, either the hairpin towards spoon would be a pretty good spot to put a DRS. I mean, we saw in the real-life race, the way the F1 cars are now, they got so much grip that is just a little bend. DRS would work through there. It worked back in 2011 and 2012 when there was qualifying there, for example. And there was plenty of overtaking there. Maybe they'll consider that for the future.
It's possible, but the issue is you start at a very slow speed, and what they also don't like to do is give the cars DRS at a low speed. So they ideally, the perfect situation is for a car to start in a DRS zone at about 4th gear. If it's lower, don't even bother. And of course, the acceleration of an F1 car is quite rapid, quite quick. But this hairpin is really, really slow. I've driven this hairpin turn 11 hundreds of times, and it just feels like it takes ages to get around it in every car, whether it's an F1 car, GT car, it doesn't matter anything. It's so long, and it isn't long. It's just a hairpin. It's just a normal hairpin, but it feels like it takes 3 seconds to turn the car around and get going again. It's built so weirdly, and you get out of there. Usually you would use 2nd gear, as we're about to get underway here. Cam has joined the lobby, so we were wondering whether he was going to show up.
We'll see if he gets in the party.
Yeah.
If he fancies it. Or is he just being told off again, maybe?
No, I did send him an invite. I don't know why he didn't join. Maybe he doesn't want to. I don't know.
Well, maybe send him another one just in case he didn't get the first one. Maybe he's just turned his PlayStation on.
Alright.
You never know. Always a possibility, because we could do a weather forecast for this. Because there's a very high chance of rain at this track.
Exactly. For those of you who are watching the Podium Tier race on another screen right now, as it is still going on, that one is very, very rainy. I was about to say the W word, but I'm not gonna.
You and your odd words today.
Yeah.
Whether they're in English or whatever.
Also, why just today? I mean, this is nothing new.
Well, I know it's nothing new, but I mean, we haven't even started yet, you know what I mean?
I mean, we kind of have. Oh, there is Ken. There you go.
Well, we have started now. Hello, you are hopefully going to be our weatherman here, by the way, because we're expecting a bit of rain today. And
oh, are we?
Well, yeah, it's pan, so well, it's a dry qualifying. That's good news. But yeah, please tell us it's going to be a dry race. Please, because
it will be a dry race.
Phew. Right then.
Aww.
Okay, so we should probably say hello. Hello, Cal.
Hello, Owen. Hello, Austin.
Hi.
Nice to see you.
Owen, but sure. Let's just go with it.
Or we should go konnichiwa, probably, if we're going to go with all our...
Yes.
Thank you.
It's about all the Japanese I know.
But all the Japanese I know. I just watched...
Well, I know one curse word, and that's about it.
Well, I spent so long watching James May's Japan series, and I haven't picked up a single word from it, which is...
I mean, if there's one word in Japanese that everyone should know, and honestly, everyone probably knows, it's NANI?
Omaira. No shiu.
Omaira. No shiu.
Nani?
Alright, enough Japanese, I guess. Token is the first driver out on track. We do have, hold on, do we have a new driver? We have Luke in 2nd place in the standings right now. It's obviously with no drivers having set a lap time, but he is showing in 2nd. He is in the Racing Point and replacing Elite Shots. So his first race here in One Hub, and obviously we do wish him good luck. He also is instantly a race premium driver, meaning he does support the league.
Win,
yes. he's certainly gonna be in the top 4.
Well, that could well have been a factor for him getting the seat, you know. So I mean, that's a good advert for Racing Premium. Not that expensive, helps us out, funds your prizes at the end of the season. So you know, feel free. Speaking of prizes,
you get a race seat guaranteed.
Yeah, race seat guaranteed. Like a wee rig. White Fine to know about that. His is probably already in the post. He is our champion, of course. Won it last week. Although his teammate, actually, Simon, who's been on fantastic form recently, was the race winner in Russia. And he's had, I think, 2 second place in a row and now a first. And it's 3 1-2s in a row for the Red Bull team. They're going to take the constructors sooner or later, aren't they?
I mean, they have a gap now of 74 points to Ferrari. But at least this time both Ferraris have shown up. So
yeah, no race bans this time.
No race bans this time, exactly. It's not over. That's the thing. It's not over. I always like to calculate it as what would happen if Ferrari gets a 1-2 and Red Bull gets a 3-4. So Ferrari does the best they can, or the best possible, and Red Bull does the best they can behind that. Would Ferrari be able to win it under their own power, if you will? And that would be 16 points a race difference. Is that right? That's right.
Well, hold on. You get 44 points as the maximum you can get, and then what did the Red Bulls get? They get 27.
The fastest lap. No. Exclude the fastest lap.
Well, hold on. If we're going to go for the maximum possible, then surely we'd have to go 17 a race, right? 17 by 5. How much is that?
It's 85, and that is more than the 74. Possible. So Ferrari could still win it under their own power, on their own accord, if they just get 1-2s all the time and the fastest lap every time. They don't even need the fastest lap, that's the thing.
However, one bad race, and
yeah, fair enough. And they need some help.
Yeah, they need a lot of help. Especially with their qualifying. You know, actually, if they can just get their qualifying under control, because that's the thing they've really been struggling with recently. They've always had to do fight backs through the field or strange strategies to get themselves where they need to be. They can just get qualifying sorted, then they were running away with the constructors earlier in the season. It's just the fact that Simon and Scorpion switching seats, that's probably the big thing that's helped the Red Bull team, because they have just taken off with them two. Like I say, 3-1-2s in a row now. The Red Bull boys, they're really making it work now. Meanwhile, utter chaos in Ferrari.
That being said, though, for this race here at the Japanese Grand Prix, first off, Luki on provisional pole, at least this early in qualifying. Obviously, in 13 minutes and 20 seconds, still very likely to change, but seems like he has the pace early on here in qualifying. About Simon, now that he does have his first win of the season, I think one important thing to note is that Simon in the pre-race interview has talked about something quite interesting. He said he is still mad that the stewards took away his win here in Season 10 when he was fighting for the championship.
Right.
So there's some hard feelings there.
So that tells us a few things. One, he knows his way around this track. 2, he's got some unfinished business. That can't end badly at all, can it?
Well, there's 2 ways this can go. Either it's a big chip on his shoulder and he just absolutely dominates, or the ghosts of the past come back to haunt him again.
Well, he's in the perfect position to make it work this time. He's on probably the form of his life this season anyway. Maybe not overall, but certainly his best form on this game.
1 win. And that is certainly true. And as you said, one of the questions in the pre-race interview for all of the drivers who did answer it was whether they agree with the game not being as fun as previous years, and if so, why? And Simon said that he doesn't dislike the game, but it was more fun for him playing it previous years. However, he also thinks that it might be because he's used to league racing. And 3 games ago, it was all new to him. So it's really not the game itself, but it's more the getting used to league racing.
Well, see, this is interesting because if I were to ask that question, I would say that F1 2018 was even better than this one. Because, in my opinion, as a racer, or at least used to be a racer, and a commentator, I think the racing factor has got a lot less thanks to ERS and the fact that rain just doesn't produce good enough racing anymore, in my opinion. Like, there's a lot of people that leave this year, leaving a lot of people frustrated. People now are starting to come back again, but certainly playing the old ones. Say F1 2017, I've been playing that a bit recently. it is a lot better for like just the fun factor, and that's maybe what these guys struggle with a lot. So it was an interesting question, that one, in the previous interviews.
Yeah. And all right.
What was that?
Huh?
I think
thought you said
Cam was
something there.
mad at Jeff.
Oh,
He
what?
keeps trying to give me irrelevant information while I'm in the pits.
That's what
All
we're
right,
here
so
for.
a little bit of driver-engineer disagreement there already in qualifying. All right.
You gotta
Our
let one.
best lap is a 30.7. Yeah, I can see that.
He's just trying to help
He's
you.
just trying to help.
But yeah,
Well, I'm saying in chat that there are good points. The only things people do not like, that there were a lot of bugs in last few games, but you can make the same argument here, can't you? What's a safety car? You know?
Yeah.
There are
Then
bugs
again,
in every code.
There are bugs. The bugs are copy pasted over, right?
No, hold on, Cam. Don't malign. What was it called again? Oh no, one of the very old ones, the Micro Machines. There you go. Don't malign Micro Machines like that, okay? It was a perfectly fine game. It was absolutely fantastic, and it was awesome. And it was a Codemasters game.
Okay, Codemasters games nowadays are always
Okay, there you go.
which makes me scared for what they're going to do to Project Cars, but
Yeah, that's kind of worrying.
I mean,
considering the state
it's
Project
still-
Cars was in before they bought
Well,
it.
in fairness
Yeah,
though,
it's
that
still-
could
it's
open a lot of
still-
doors though. They could maybe not just do F1, they could just put it all into one massive game. Huh? Have
Yeah,
F1 and
it's
IndyCar
still-
in the same game?
It's still slightly Mad Studios who develop the game. It's just that they're owned by Codemasters, but it's still that team developing the game and not the Codemasters' own team.
But like I say, well, what people are saying about the older games, the biggest issue I have with this game is ARS and the spectator system, because first of all, F1 2017 racing was better thanks to the fact that the only one major variable that you could control yourself was the fuel, and ARS, that didn't exist. You didn't have to worry about it. And for commentators like me, I'm sure you'll also agree, Austin, like, you had so many more options. There's so much more you could do with commentary. For now, if, for instance, someone crashes out, for example, we'll have no idea where it's happened, how it's happened. We don't even get a map or anything, you know? And we don't get camera angles or stuff like that either. It seems
About
that
which
Cody's...
game are you talking right now? When we
27
did get that.
2017 we got that, and it was brilliant.
I wasn't commentating on 2017, unfortunately. I started
You
I started commentating on
Right.
2018.
I need to
there
give
used
you...
to be a point where someone would crash out and you'd be able to
Go
to
straight
their
to
car.
it. Go straight to it. Have a look at it.
Yeah.
You could have
I mean,
fights where you
look-
could ride on board and look back. As you can see, I can't do that. I'm doing it, and it's not letting me do it. I used to be able to do it.
Calm down.
So
I have to say, I do have experience commentating on Gran Turismo Sport. And that spectating and replay system is just godlike.
it's fantastic, isn't it?
It's beautiful.
I love it.
It gives you all the options you need. You can, if you connect a keyboard to your
yes.
PlayStation or to your, there are keypads that you can connect to your controller.
You feel
I
like
have
God
one.
when you're doing it. Honestly,
Yeah, that allows you to put in replays, 8, 13, and 18 seconds. It allows you, like, basically everything. You can switch between cars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The top 10, just you can switch through as you wish. And even, I think 11 to 14
11
are
to 4,
like, just
yeah,
4
11
more
yeah.
buttons.
You can do all
Yeah.
of it. It's so
It's beautiful.
easy.
And
It
this is something that I would like to see from F1 games in the future, is that if you connect a keyboard to your PlayStation, you can do the same neat little stuff. Replays.
It's
all
so
that
simple.
good stuff.
You know, it's so
Switching
simple.
between cars.
The fact that they've cut back on so much tells me that there's so much they could have. I mean, in esports, do you remember they had the Halo graphics on the cars, and they had a track map? There's so much we're not getting. I think Codemasters need to know that we need this stuff. Please.
Yeah, the thing is,
do.
with the league racing community being as large as it is now on this game, which is probably larger than ever, bigger than ever, I think Codemasters needs to see this and go, you know what, F1 Esports is neat and all, and we want to keep that building, or keep building that, but also that league racing community is where our F1 esports drivers come from.
Exactly.
In the first place.
Yeah.
And to keep the influx of new talent coming, you know, let's give them something as well.
Yeah, I mean, it just the issue is, as a commentator, the last thing we need is to be left having absolutely no idea what's happened or what's going on. Because how does that help anyone, right? It confuses us, it confuses the viewers, it means the drivers, if they decide to watch it back, they've got no idea what's going on either. It's just... it's messy. It's messy. Because, I mean, they did it before, though. They did it. They fixed it. F1 2017, they went in, they fixed the whole spectator system and gave us exactly what the esports people had, and then they removed it all from us. And they kept it. I just don't know what they were thinking.
I mean, they have removed a whole lot of stuff from previous games. Remember red flags? Yeah, those were fun.
They are tad pointless, though, aren't
I can see why they got rid of red
flags. They are pointless. What are they actually there to do?
They might be pointless in league racing,
well,
but
yeah,
I would like
racing.
to see them in career mode and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, but then again, maybe there's still next to no points, because the safety car would just do the same thing, because there's like nothing major that would change under red flag now. I can understand, because what actually changes? Nothing. You're just sitting in the pits for ages. Back in the olden days, of a couple of years ago, you'd be able to change tyres and all sorts. But
Owen, it's not about what changes, it's about the realism.
Don't tell me this game's in any way going to ever be realistic, though. You know?
I mean, they're working towards it as TDG King J retires from the session. Maybe
that might be at the top of the hill. This actually could be a 130R.
I agree with Austin in the fact that last year, or the year before then, one of those 2 years, the safety car came out way too much, and now this year it comes out way too little. So
yeah.
I mean, who knows? Next year they'll get it spot on.
I don't think they will.
Hopefully.
I doubt it, but I hope I'm wrong in doubting it.
It's kind of they kind of did over the span of what now 2 or 3 years of games. They've done what Gran Turismo has pretty much done over the last month.
Yeah.
Which is they had a perfectly working penalty system, then they made the penalties extremely harsh, then they just removed penalties from contact altogether, apparently, and I think they're getting back into like getting it right again. Yeah. Maybe that's what Codemasters is doing, I don't know.
See, but the biggest problem actually I have with the way they're developing the games is that a lot of us were given the beta, right, at the start of the year, and that was fine. It meant we could give our input and say what we needed changed. Spoiler alert, they didn't listen to a single word any one of us said. We had a whole list of things that we sent to them that said, this is what's wrong with the game, we need this fixed, and they didn't do a single thing. And it's the most frustrating thing ever. Maybe they'll implement it for next year's game, but what's the point of this beta then?
Well,
you know what I mean?
Well, Owen, hold on. The point of a beta is to weed out bugs,
which
and
didn't do.
maybe add minor features.
So just leave the major features untouched.
A beta is very far into the development cycle.
You know, well, that is the point. Actually, we got the beta too late. That's the thing. They had a couple of weeks after the beta ended to implement it all. So that's what I'm hoping they could put. Oh, Luke! Out of qualifying.
He's out
with the esports helmet on there. See, he's been practicing a lot, but that's a real shame there. He's not going to show his pace.
Meanwhile, I think we should focus on the qualifying in our last 2 minutes. Yes. Everyone's coming out of the pits now. That means everyone's going to have one final run, and it's going to be hectic here. Look at the two Red Bulls, White Mountain and Simon.
That's not smart. They've got to spread that out a little bit, and they can't slow each other down too much. They've just got to be clever.
They have a whole lap to spread out, so
they don't have all the time in the world. You know what I mean? They need to just.
They have plenty of time though. It's 1 minute and 30 is the lap, or 1 minute 27, minute 28 is the lap.
Look how long Ferrari are leaving it.
In the Degners at 1 minute 30, so they do have some time to spread out.
Ferrari, that is leaving it a bit tighter than they maybe want as well. But Vitinho's done. He's not going to get that one. He's in trouble there, unless our timings are a bit wonky. The timings can be a bit wonky sometimes. It could be about 30 seconds off. Cam, how much time have you got on your screen?
1 minute 5.
Okay,
it's not off.
Yeah. Sometimes it is off. I'm just going to check it. You've got to check it every time, just in case, because I've had it sometimes where it's been a minute off. Oh, Mike's gone. Oh, this is a difficult one at the Dunlop curve. Hopefully no one's going to come and get him. He might just have to sit there, but if he does that, he'll get disqualified. He could be starting last here. I don't think there's any way out of this.
He needs to retire, honestly.
Right, okay. He's got it back off the track.
Backwards into the tires.
He's got it off the track. That's the important bit. That means someone's going to run into him. You can just come back on now.
And he retires, yes. Smart call here.
Yeah, but then again, he just got to hope that no one now comes around and hits his ghosted car, which is going off the track. So, okay.
Yeah, and look at the Red Bulls. They have gotten a bit of space between them as White Fountain starts his lap, followed by Simon, and then who else is that?
That's a TB, and then there's Zach Jarvis. I mean, they're all super close. NES's, I mean, that's a big no-no. That's not going to help your qualifying lap at all.
Yeah, it's the one place where you don't want to be close to anyone.
Look at TB going off the track, and Zach nearly falling, and there's just no grip through there. Simon should be alright. In fact, he may get a decent tow. Vitinho and OKK's done, as are Mike, Luke, and King. I think the rest of them, though, are on
Ian
laps.
moves up to P8, 28.6. Decent lap time, not great.
They're so close, these gaps, though. Between 5th and 9th is under a tenth of a second. In fact, 6th and 7th have the exact same time as Zach Jarvis, in that dirty air, has stuck it in the wall. It's just not a good idea to be stuck in that tight gap. But I'm very interested to see what Simon's top speed is going to be up here, because White finds him. He's gonna reel him and he's gonna let him through. I think. Is this a bit of a tactic within a team here? Because White Fountain's got 4 tenths clear. Look at him. Maybe he doesn't feel he needs the lap. Simon is gonna pass him.
Yeah, he doesn't. He pulls off.
Well, he was never gonna get the lap, was he? At that point. So let's see. Can Simon now convert this into pole?
Scorpion moves up to P5.
It's not gonna be pole, but it will be P2. Ferrari are also on decent laps, though. They're on good laps. Lukey's up by enough to go ahead of Simon right now, but not White Fountain. But we'll see if he can gain anything in the last sector. He's not going to de-rate or anything. He's going to be able to launch this one up towards the finish line. Stays tight to the inside line. Escapes the bump and goes P2. And Chris P3. Alright, that's qualifying then. So White Fountain on pole from Lukey, Chris and Simon. Ferrari have an alright qualifying for once.
That is actually my career mode at the moment.
So P11. P11 then. What are you thinking about that, Ben?
Ferrari at the front, but
oh, there you go.
Well, we can ask your opinions on your qualifying. That's not a bad position to be in. You get the free tire choice. What are you going to do with that?
Oh, whatever I want.
Okay. That's a good answer.
Don't ask him
I've got to try. I've got to try.
No, come on, though. You got to be more subtle with that.
I've got to try, haven't I? Right, so Cam,
Yeah,
what's your favourite colour? What Pirelli tyre colour is your favourite? Which one would you love to see on the start line?
Pink.
Mine's ice blue.
Oh, God.
What's yours, Austin?
Meanwhile, welcome to all the podium viewers. And obviously, I think we have to send out some congratulations to Nexus Iceman, who has clinched the title in the Podium Tier. So we now have 2 champions already decided here in One Hub, 2 still open. And so the Prestige and the Pinnacle Tier still not decided who is going to be the champion. And Cam, we're going to have to ask you to leave. I would love to keep you in here,
weather.
but
Hold
we
on.
can't.
It's quite cloudy. Just make sure there's no rain at all.
There is no rain.
Are you definitely sure?
I am sure.
Okay, that's enough for me. Strategy? Come on, strategy. Come on.
He's not going to
Just tell me.
you.
Tell me.
No.
Okay, right. See you, Cam. We'll see you soon.
Yeah.
Good luck. So we've got no one apart from Zach Jarvis, of course, always one who's ready up early. So his season's just never going to pick up, is it? It's just never going to happen for him. Mind saying that he got points last week, but I mean, ignore that.
I mean, he's still 18th in the standings, and that counts the fact that well, he's not last because Dexter is last at 0 points because he only had 1 race. And didn't score any points.
Dexter is quite good, but not at this track, as far as I'm aware. In a league that shall not be named, he did not have a good race here, and he was in a title fight for that season.
I was about to say, and because of Luke in 5th, great qualifying for him in his debut race here.
Yeah, look how boring the back of the grid is, all on mediums.
Because it is Luke's debut race, he has 0 points, therefore he's lost in the standings.
So I just wonder how his strategy is going to work here, because if I can remember from last year's game, I know it's not exactly the same, but the way that worked was that the soft tyres weren't actually particularly nice, but they did the job. But the mediums and the hards at the time, they were brilliant. You could genuinely go on these in like lap 10 or 11 and still be setting fastest personal and literal race laps on the final lap. So that'll be very interesting to see which of these strategies work. Do you prefer the good tyres at the start or the good tyres at the end? Because certainly the back of the grid fancy getting the good tyres out of the way first of all and then sticking the sauce on at the end. Because I think, honestly, the medium's a better race tyre here.
The thing is, you're talking about last
Well, that's it.
game.
I'm not 100% sure if it's going to be the same here, but you'd think it would be, right?
I don't...
Because it was so unique.
No, but the tyre compounds have changed for this season, remember?
Well, they're the same, but different colours.
It's no...
Aren't they?
Owen.
No?
Last
Slightly?
season we had the ultra soft, hyper soft, I think, super soft, soft, medium, hard, and wasn't there even a super
Ice.
hard? No, there wasn't.
No, there was. It was never used. It was a USA 2005 tyre, just in case.
Yeah, but there were 7 different tyre compounds. Now we're down to 5, C1 to C5. So that is shrinked, or shrunk. I don't know. And oh wow, White Fountain is 10 seconds ahead of everyone else on the formation lap.
He's taking
that
out
might be
the
a smart play
bollards
here
as well.
by Lukey.
Has he taken out the
with-
bollards? That's preparing. That's preparing for the corner cut, and he has taken the
That could
bollards
be,
out.
yes.
He has
The
taken
thing
them
is,
out.
You are allowed to take him out.
Yeah.
As
No
long
rules
as you
against it.
stay within the track limits, that's perfectly fine. You know,
Well, I
take him
mean,
out.
yeah, do it on a night lap. You're not going to get penalties for that, are you? So that was potentially clever, or just not. I don't know. But anyway, here we go. We're all getting lined up on the grid. Kane Jorit, I'm going to call him Kane Jorit now, lines up on the back of the grid. Very nice helmet, you must say. He's went for that one with the Mercedes colours. But anyway, we're not here to talk about helmets. We're here to talk about Red Bull versus Ferrari. The Drivers' Championship's over. The Constructors, heavily in Red Bull's favour. Ferrari need a good day today. It is lights out, and it's a dreadful start from Lukey. He's going to get absolutely swallowed up here. And Chris gets ahead. Simon actually struggles. Only 1 position lost, but look behind. They're all having all sorts of chaos in there, but somehow Ian, who was sliding through the grass, hasn't hit anyone. And we've all got through alive, apart from Dexter, who has found a wall. No damage, though, to the McLaren, but it is White Fountain who leads it from Chris and somehow Lukey, who's struggling massively. It's still.
Yeah, it seems like he has some kind of issue. Maybe he hasn't found his rhythm yet. I don't know what's going on with him.
Oh,
But,
that's
maybe
sliding there, TB. Through the Degners. That's something to look out for.
Yeah, maybe Lukey just hasn't found, maybe he's not used to the dirty air. He had none in qualifying, and so maybe now driving behind Chris there is catching him a bit off guard, but I think he has settled in now into 3rd place, and he seems to be driving away from Simon as well.
Yeah, well, White Fountain, 2nd clear. Already a Chris, so I mean, wave goodbye to that. But the important thing for the Ferraris.
Attempting an overtake into 130 on lap 1 round the outside. Is it there? It's he gets pushed off the track.
That's dodgy.
Still stays there to the inside in the Casio triangle. Now the outside for the 2nd part, and has to stay behind. However, he seems to get a better run here, but has to lift off slightly and let Scorpion go and keep the position. However, he's going to try it again here into turn 1. Is Scorpion going to go defensive? No, he is not. There goes Luke down the inside, and they're still side by side. Luke, they touch, and now Scorpion has the inside, and he shuts the door. Wow.
That was incredibly brave driving from the two of them there. Brilliant commitments. And good to see these guys getting their elbows out already.
Yeah, but see what it does to them. They already lost contact to Simon and everyone else ahead.
Oh, it's all going off here.
Ian.
We've got Ian off the track. And
that's a dangerous
he's
rejoin
coming
as
back
well.
off, is he? Or is he just going to survive that? I thought he was going to go straight off again. Certainly,
wow.
Ian is he? Well, he is Ian going off again. He is indeed.
Yeah, but that was also a dangerous rejoin there. Okiki had to
sideways
take
to the gravel.
evasive action and had to go through the gravel there. So really, really dangerous. This is gonna probably get looked at by the stewards. This reminds me of another racing point that did a very very unsafe re-entry.
That was a Ferrari's fault,
that one after he was spun by another unsafe re-entry by a Ferrari.
On an unrelated
I'm not naming names here.
On an unrelated note, I can't blame that racing boy for doing that, actually, because he was in the middle of the racing line.
But still, you can't do that.
And he had just been shanked off, you know.
Yeah, he's faultless for that, but you know, let's not talk about that. Simon really dropping off.
Mike's gone off at the Casio Triangle. He's down to last now. I don't know what's happened there. Has he just lost it under braking or something? Because he's got no damage or anything like that. I'm really struggling with Scorpion and Luke are going at it again for the S's. Or either that or my timing screen's glitchy. But it's still fixing itself after lap 1. Not even lap 2. It's only updating itself now. The classic. Wait until lap 3 to actually fix this up. We've got updated times now. TB already getting penalties. I think he's got front wing damage. He has indeed. So that's probably why. And that must be a nightmare for the S's with the dirty air and all that. I'm surprised he hasn't finished. I guess maybe. Well, it's just not worth it. Maybe.
If the damage isn't major, yes, you're going to lose in the first sector. You're not going to lose that much in the second and third sectors. So you can actually carry the car around still.
Interestingly, a lot of people are using the ERS quite early. White Fountain has nearly emptied his tank. Chris has got about double, but it's still not particularly massive. But certainly White Fountain using the most in that leading fight. And then here's Luke. He's also pretty much out against Scorpion. That's not going to help him. So ERS is going to be something quite difficult to save by the looks of it.
Yeah,
which is surprising, honestly. You think those S's, they just whack it down to 0, no?
No, not really.
No?
The issue on this track here is that you don't harvest as much energy because you harvest the most energy in heavy braking zones. Where do you have heavy braking zones? Turn 1, then you get the S's where you have no heavy braking zone at all, and then the second Degner, the hairpin, spoon, and Casio Triangle. That's about it. There's not that many heavy braking zones here.
It is
meaning
also.
It's hard to recover energy. It's easy to use, you know. It's also easy to save, but it's also very hard to recover energy, and that's where the issue lies, really. So you're going to use a lot of energy unless you really shank it down to 0, and you're barely going to recover.
Oh yeah, I didn't actually consider that the second half of the lap is pretty much at full throttle as well.
Well, yeah, apart from Spoon.
Apart from Spoon, and in the Casio Triangle's a very short braking zone.
No,
so,
it's not.
It is
no,
kind of. In these cars, you're only on the brakes for a couple of seconds.
I mean,
in a whole half of a lap.
Hold on, Owen. In these cars, every braking zone is a short braking zone, if you want to go by that. But
what is the only one?
You come there.
Yeah.
Hold on. You come there at around 300 kilometers an hour, and you go down to about under 100. It's a very heavy braking zone. It's the heaviest braking zone on the track.
Right, can we focus on this? Because Chris is flying right now. We'll have this argument later on, but you can go for there in 4th gear, okay? It's not that slow anymore. Yeah, Chris is caught right up here. He's certainly seems to have that advantage on the ERS, but he's sort of lost it all now. They're not equal, pretty much exactly equal on the ERS usage. So yeah, this will be interesting to see how these guys fight.
But he also will get a DRS, and he does have the slipstream on the second half of the lap.
Yeah, that should keep him nice and close. Simon's not really with the picture right now. He's got Scorpion and Luke on him now, and there's going to be no help from White Fountain here, so he's going to have to fight for himself.
I have to say the one issue I see here is that with White Fountain and Chris, I mean, we did have a battle between these two not too long ago. Monza, Italian Grand Prix.
Checked out a whole chain of events, didn't it? That just led to the race ban.
And now, exactly, it ended with the race ban for Chris. And now we see these two come together. Only a mere, what was it, 3-4 races? No, 3 races.
3 races, yeah.
3 races after the Italian Grand Prix. They come together again.
And who's the guy waiting in the background again? Just like before, Lukey's the one just waiting in the wings. And Simon the one waiting to take all 3 of them when it all goes wrong.
It
and
really
Scorpion's up there as well. It pretty much is the same situation, look at it.
Luke is the first one who's new here, and that's because it's his very first race as well.
Come on, Cam, get yourself up there.
The top 5 is very, very similar, amazingly.
So it's interesting to see that Chris has had he gets the gap closed right up by turn 1, but he's just not close enough. So I imagine White Fountain's probably just saying, okay, he can't pass me here, I'll just sit on 0 ERS and, well, that must be what he's doing. It means he doesn't have to worry about the overtake and still doesn't have to use the ERS as much. I'll see if he does that, but if that is what he's doing, it's working out well.
Yeah, it's what you would do, wouldn't you? You would go, hey, wherever I can't be overtaken, I'm just going to save as much ERS as I can. And where I can get overtaken, I'm going to do just enough to stay ahead.
Ian's gone, sector 3.
Is the first one retired from the race.
I'd hope he's done that in the pit lane, honestly. It seems like it's safety car. Maybe it wasn't in the pit lane. Maybe he's stuck it in the wall. Of course, we're not going to find out. Lukey's just passed his teammate there. He wasn't quite on the ball when it came to safety car. They've swapped again. And the issue is we won't see what's happened now because they're crawling up the hill. Now, will we see pit stops or is it too early, do we think? Because if they pit now, then they don't have to worry about a pit stop again. But if they then get it wrong, oh, what on earth just happened there? I think someone had a crash. They were all closing quite closely. I doubt it was lag, but certainly there was a collision on my screen.
I gotta tell you, I think someone's gonna try it here to go into the pits. I don't think all of them, but because it is really on the point, you can go yes or no. And White Fountain comes in. Chris comes in, Lukey comes in, double stack for Ferrari. Simon keeps the gap to White Fountain, not to double stack. Scorpion in, Luke in. Everyone, no, King J, Jorrit is staying out.
Well, he's on mediums, yeah, the medium guys will all stay out.
Yeah, the medium guys will stay out, obviously.
So what they're hoping for, right, is that, oh, look at this. Simon's been taken absolutely to the cleaners here. He's way down. These guys are really going to lose out, actually, a few of them. Yeah, so is Lukey.
Yeah, double stack right there.
So they're on the hards. They're on the hards. These guys, right, are going to come across the medium runners when they are switching over to the softs. That's the big risk. Is that worth it? Because this is just going to spice this race up massively, isn't it?
I'm going to tell you right now,
is in a good position, but the rest, maybe not.
Well, White Fountain is in a decent position, but he's on the hards. Chris and Scorpion are, I would say, in a better position, even though they have 2 medium runners in front of them, more than White Fountain has. But they're both on the mediums.
Yeah, will they get to the end?
So they should have a pace advantage, and they need to make overtakes quickly. They should be able to make it to the end. It is risky, but it's not impossible. And with the laps under the safety car, this should save the tires, at least for now, quite a bit. So you can't really count the laps that they're doing now. Whenever, from now on, we look at the lap count for these drivers, whether it's White Fountain or Chris or Scorpion or Luke, all of them, except for the 5 medium runners who stayed out, we always have to basically take away however many laps they're now driving under the safety car, because there really is no tire wear right now for them. The cars are so slow, they're just so chilled that there's not much of a point there to count those laps as tire wear. And that's at least 1 lap for all of them now. The safety car doesn't stay out, so it's a 2nd lap as well. Again?
He must have had a collision. No. He's just...
He doesn't like.
What was he on? Was he on mediums or was he on hards?
He was on hards. He's going on hards again.
Odd that. Don't really get the theory behind this.
I don't get it either, really. But
oh well, his loss.
His choice. Yeah, his loss. There you go.
OKK
He's still
actually
not
isn't
last.
even going to catch you, unfortunately. Do you know what? Dexter as well. Let's get him back into it, of course. And yeah, he's lucky he got no downs when he had that crash earlier. But yeah, he's now right back in the thick of it. I just hope these guys don't start crashing into each other, because it always happens. Doesn't matter which league it is. Someone always hits someone else under a safety car. I just don't get it. They always manage it. So fingers crossed.
Just wait until someone hits the safety car.
Oh, that's a straight up disqualification when they do that, as far as I'm aware. So King Jury, who started last, try not doing that. I know you're going for your last, the first challenge, but the safety car is not a competitor.
I mean,
He
it's
was
also
last, wasn't he?
Mercedes.
I'm not trying to. Yes, he was last. Sorry, I'm just making sure he was definitely last.
Yeah.
That'd be, just making sure, because he could win this thing. You just don't know. It depends just on how the strategy works out. Because even if the hards get to the end, they're going to be having no pace, right? Unless my theory from earlier about these tyres just never wearing out and having the pace right to the end is true. If it is true, still on this game, then actually, yeah, the hards will be fine. It'll be sweet. Same with the mediums. If they can get there, they'll be fine. It's when they hit the cliff. It's when they absolutely.
Yeah.
That's when they start to lose pace. That's the issue.
Owen, I'm going to tell you right now. Safety car in this lap. Okay, I'm going to tell you very quickly. The hards are definitely going to make it, and they're not going to fall off a cliff. The mediums, I'm not so sure about.
Well, that's the thing. They'll only lose pace if they hit the cliff, not before they hit the cliff.
And the hards are not going to hit the cliff. The mediums might. Might. But
this be quite the risk and reward.
Take it away for the restart.
So, Shuri gets away. And, okay, well, there's the collision we were expecting. He's hit Air Specialist, and there's yellow flags to that now as well, but I think we're all alive still. Down towards turn 1, not really expecting too much to happen here.
An arrow in the pits again.
Except, well, saying that, we've got these Luke and Scorpion. They're fighting away. Luke, he's got by Simon, and there's nearly contact there, and he's still on the inside. Bit of contact, but no front wing damage caused, and Luke ahead of Scorpion. And looks like Chris under a bit of pressure as well, because he's going to have to try and get by Mike, the first of these guys who haven't made a pit stop yet. White Fountain, of course, well clear. He's got the 2-car cushion, so that'll really help him. But it looks like a mostly clean restart, and Aero Specialist, well, he would have got that penalty under. Well, he got the penalty, didn't he? So he.
Wait, who?
Was it Aero Specialist that got the penalty for hitting OKK?
Or was
it the other way around?
It was the other way around. OKK for hitting Aero.
And yeah, Aero, another pit stop. Oh, he's in the wall. Well, I don't know if that was part of his strategy. His strategy is a bit odd, it must be said, but he is out of the race now.
Yeah. I have to say, I am a bit surprised that White Fountain was able to drive away that quickly from Dex. I think he had a really good restart. Dex was just sleeping
this is
a
going to be
little
up to
bit.
130. Oh, look at this. Oh, he's letting through. Okay, Zach just not interested in fighting White Fountain there.
Yeah, smart call here, I would say.
Yeah.
I was thinking maybe the mediums are still at a good enough pace that they can outrun the hards, even if they're fresh. But apparently that's not the case, and the hards are already the better tyre.
That's not a good sign. That's not a good sign for the guys on
really
mediums, is it?
No.
But look at this, here comes Chris. He's not quite got the speed, I don't think. It's a bit of a risky one. He's not going to go for it. Luke, he's got by Scorpion. No. Oh, look how close they're running.
I'm going to tell you right now. Chris seems like a reformed man.
He knows he can't do anything stupid or else he'll get kicked from the league. Simple as.
Yeah.
It is the next stage. Remove him from the league.
I tell you, 3 races ago, Chris would not have backed out of that.
Yeah. He knows what the risk is at this. He knows, even though he races premium, he will still get kicked if it goes all wrong today. And he does something really stupid, so he knows what he's doing. He knows he's got to be careful. But look at this, Dexter's just holding them all up. Someone's going to do something. Because this is going to be a humongous train in a minute. And, well, this is where the limited overtaking opportunities maybe start to show themselves. There's lots of them, but you have to be right on the gearbox to actually go for it. And we're going to see evidence of that soon. But look at it.
Yeah, or if you want to try into 130i, you need to get a really proper slingshot. And that was Chris's issue on the start-finish straight. He started out of the Casio triangle already basically on the back of Mike. And he had no run-up to him, so there was no way for him to get past. He needs a slingshot pass, or Mike needs a slingshot pass. Dex really here. I think that's the better way to
Oh,
put
that's
it.
side by side. There goes Lukey on the outside of Luke, and that's a nice move.
Now DRS enabled doesn't mean that the driver's going to have it here because the detection point is before the Casio triangle, so they'll only get it at the end of this lap. No DRS for now. And there goes Chris down the inside of Mike, and he gets the job done up to P6.
Nice move. Very good move. Two
Well
Ferraris
done.
making two good moves there. And just from watching all that, I did see White Fountain got past Cam. I did have a little peek at it. He's going to be on the back of the leader soon, so he's pretty much checked out. He's got this race won unless he has any mistakes. Back to that old commentator's curse again now, so probably dug my own grave with that. But
oh, Dex in the braking zone on the dirt twice now, both Degners. And that isn't going to be good for his tyres. Chris really looking to get this position very quickly, and then the next one would be Zach Jarvis right ahead. He can see both of them already.
Lukey side by side with Mike.
It's really a question of when, not if.
Look at this, Simon's fallen way down the field. He's now 12th, but he's been passed by Coutinho. And look at that, we've got Luke and Scorpion still
Dex,
side by side.
Dex makes a big mistake in Spoon Curve, gets a slide on through the middle of Spoon, and gets on the grass on the inside, then cuts back across the track. Unfortunately, he doesn't hit anyone, but he does lose 2 positions to the 2 Ferraris here in the space of 1 corner. Very unlucky, but at least, I mean, he didn't spin, he didn't put it into the wall. He can still race on, and all he did was lose about
Lukey,
a second and 2 positions.
He's getting by his teammate. That was as easy a move you'll see in any race. That seemed a bit. Oh, off goes OKK in turn 1, and he's in the gravel trap, and he's falling right off the back of that train, and it's a massive train. It has to be set on 4th all the way down to 13th at the minute. And look at that. We've got, I think, Mike and Luke, they were trying to go side by side through there. Again, these people getting the elbows out. And up through to the Dunlop curve. This is as close as ever for these guys. They're starting to get a bit impatient with the Dexter, I think, because I mean, look how much time the Ferraris have gained already. And they're onto the back of Zach Jarvis. And it's, how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 car train. Dexter ahead of it. They're impatient. Oh, big slide there from Scorpion. There'll be Vitinho pass, possibly TB as well, if he can get around, but I don't think he will. Up towards Spoon, and Mike is not going to get through. So what we're seeing here, I guess, is that, I don't know, really, the mediums, 11 laps on Mike's, they look fine, but on Dexter, they don't really, as Lukey gets by Zach Jarvis. So it's maybe just more... Oh! Wow.
Yeah, it might just be an individual pace disadvantage for Dexter.
Could be,
More so than it is the tires.
I do know him to be very fast, and it isn't like him to be at this pace, but mind you, I haven't seen him against these drivers before.
Into the pits.
11 pits, that's not a good sign. 11 laps for the pit lane. Ooh, 12, sorry, yeah, well. Still way longer than these guys are going to have to go, and look at this! Mike on the inside, also Luke on the inside. Dexter's going to be hard to dry there, and Vitinho not quite, or is he? Oh, he thought about it on the outside, but decided not to go for it. But yeah.
Dexter completely mugged off twice there by both Mike and Luke.
Vitinho's tried on the outside 2 or 3 times there. He wants so desperately to do it. And I can see why, because he's got Scorpion all over him. And look at that, you've got TB nearly on the grass in the Dunlop curve, trying to get by. They're trying to make this track a lot wider than it really is. And it's going to end up in an accident at this rate, but they're keeping it clean for the moment. Somehow.
Just have some faith, Owen. They're going to keep it clean throughout the race. I think I may have just cursed them.
Yeah,
but,
you might have.
Now at the very top, we get Jorit versus White Fountain for the lead. I think White Fountain is going to use the deer. Maybe he's going to do it into the braking zone here already.
Nah. No. Didn't fancy it. Vitinho, we've got... Oh, look at that side-by-side Luke and Mike! Oh, that is as tight as it gets to 130
Oh, Dexter runs wide and Vitinho around the outside. Oh, gets a little push there. Gets a little rub along the side, and maybe now... Oh, they touch and they both hit the wall.
And look at... Oh, TB had to thread his way through there. And
Yeah.
we've got still these guys ahead still trying to go for it as well. There's so much to try and watch here. We need some more wide shots, please.
Yeah, damage for both of them, Vitinho and Dex. And now Vitinho just completely targeting Dex into turn 1. Now he goes around the outside into the S's and gets the position. But yeah, I think there was really a miscommunication between Vitinho and Dexter there. Vitinho tried to take a very narrow line to get a quicker run into turn 1 to make the pass on Dexter, and Dexter trying to cut him off, but just a little bit too late. Vitinho already had his nose in there, and the two collided and both went into the wall. Very, very unlucky there. Might be a penalty coming one of their ways, but that is for the stewards to decide. I'm not going to take a position on that one.
Yeah.
As I tend not to generally, with the rare exception of what Chris did in Italy.
Yeah, well, even at that, I mean, you were quite restrained. And then eventually, eventually, after about 2 laps, you just sort of went a bit like me, and we just sort of both went in on him. But yeah, now I got Simon on the back of TB. Not going to get this one done. He is not having the best race here, Simon. He just had that pit stop go so wrong, and it's left him so far behind now. Not his fault, but that's just the way his car is. He had
a good idea. He had a good idea. He was letting himself fall back a little bit from the top 3, which at the time were White Fountain, Lukey, and Chris and Lukey in that order. He was trying to fall back behind so the double stack doesn't cost him as much, if anything, but it just completely didn't work.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it just meant that he was holding everyone else up, who then had to pass him while he was in his box. And then he had to try and thread his way through, and it just didn't work out. Nothing really he could have done about it. If he goes in at that time, it just, nothing would have stopped that from happening, so it's just bad luck, really. Same with Lukey, but then again, Lukey got himself back up there, so, yeah.
I mean, Lukey got himself back up ahead of the driver who really, not that Chris, I mean, did it intentionally,
in the wall.
but Chris, because Chris was ahead of him, Chris basically cost him plenty of time. I would guess probably around 8 to 10 seconds overall.
Yeah.
And yet Lukey is ahead of Chris now. Again, I'm not saying that Chris deliberately did that, obviously. It was just a circumstance because they double stacked, they had to, and Chris was the guy ahead. It's just unlucky for Lukey, but now he got ahead of Chris.
He's a good driver, isn't he? He's on the back of Cam now as well. He is only, about just over 5 seconds off White Fountain. And he's on mediums, so he's going to have to see how that works. As Scorpion now goes past, that is the thing. The tyre is going to be very interesting to talk about when we get to the end of the race. Because we're seeing 15 laps now on Mike's tyres, and they're not horrendous, but he's now getting overtaken as TB. Right on the grass there, but Simon not able to take advantage.
Yeah, and remember, they're still out, so none of them none of those 3, Jared, Cam, and Mike, went into the pits, so that means 16 laps at the end of this one, and they're still going.
Exact job.
However, I think no, in fact, they haven't even requested a pit stop yet. None of those 3 have requested a pit stop yet. Jorit still out there, Cam still out there, and Mike still out there. None of them have asked for a tire change, so they can go really, really deep into this one. I would guess, if not this lap, then at least one more, obviously. But I don't think it's going to be much more than that.
Lukey then on the back of Cam. He should have a chance into the Cashew Triangle, but we'll see. I think he's backed up. He has backed up. He doesn't fancy it. I guess the main straight is a safer place to go for it, isn't it? Because he'll just slipstream past him. Yeah. ERS and DRS and slipstream easily done.
And Jorit stays out, Cam stays out, and Mike probably is going to stay out as well. At least Jorit did get the DRS, so for him, this really pays off. No, Mike does come in. Mike comes into the pits lap 16 to switch probably to the softs.
Simon now tries it on TB. He just got ahead at the Cashew Triangle, but then lost it on the exit. TB defends it well, though, into turn 1. Interestingly, though, he defended. Oh, they both nearly lost it again now in the exit of turn 2. They're pushing hard. As Chris now gets by Cam, who's struggling for pace now. Maybe he fancies a pit stop too.
Yeah,
Interestingly,
very well
though,
possible.
right? King Jory is only just now fallen outside the second of White Fountain. Maybe the Hards
Which-
don't have the best pace in the world, because for his age of tire, he's holding on to the pace rather well, and that suggests to me that Lukey should be able to hold on to the pace quite well. It's just whether he can hold it all the way to the end, and whether he can hold back Jory himself on the soft tires if push comes to shove in. It does feel unlikely, but they should be on for a rather okay result anyway, these guys.
Yeah, the thing is, these medium runners, Lukey, Chris, Scorpion, the ones who pitted for mediums, I should say, they're going to be on those tires for 21 laps. And again, you have to exclude 2 laps under the safety car, which basically means a 19-lap stint as Jordan now comes in for his pit stop, and Cam probably will do the same. Indeed, he does. So 17 laps, really the length of these, and they're going to go 19. It's possible, but the last 2 to 3 laps aren't going to be nice.
But I would say it'd be worth it. They've got the good gap to Luke behind, so that's the good news. They've got 7 seconds, so if it all does go a bit pear-shaped, then they can afford to fall back a little bit. But I'm sure they'll be wanting to go for the win. They've got the better tyres at the minute, so let's see if they can try and put White Fountain under at least a little bit of pressure.
I very much doubt it, unless White Fountain makes a mistake.
Well, that's the
Which
thing.
costs him about 4 seconds, 4.5 maybe. Then Lukey might be in a position to put White Fountain under pressure. Other than that, I just don't see it. But this should still be a very good result for Ferrari and help them in the constructors' standings if they can bring this home. We were talking 33 points for Lukey and Chris, 25, well, with the 6 for Simon, 31. Okay, it's only a 2-point gain.
Yeah, it's not really
it's not
good
as
enough,
much
is
as
it?
you would hope. But if Lukey can somehow get White Fountain, maybe even Chris, then we're talking.
Yeah, that would need, like, say, a mistake from White Fountain, or the master class of the strategy, and just hoping that the medians do get to the end and they don't wear off. Obviously, lighter fuel loads and all that, it won't be the exact same situation as we saw Jorid, Cam and Mike in. They're just going to have to hope that they'll get to the end, because they're gaining about 6/10 a lap, which might get them slightly closer. I don't know what penalties are like. I'll see if their White Fountain's anywhere near close. He hasn't even got a single warning, has he? In fact, Lukey actually has a penalty, and Chris has none. So that's not good.
Yeah.
Zach Jarvis is gone.
Well, you say that's not good. What could happen is that Lukey drives Chris towards the front, pulls him along for the ride, if you will, and then Chris battles with White Fountain and tries to get the lead. However, we're only
if Chris is going to do that,
laps.
He's going to save his ERS because he's on 29 in a minute. If they're going to do that, then they will be. Oh, and we know, they communicate the Ferraris. They know what their situations are. So Chris, surely Luke will be telling them, okay, save your ERS. I'll keep you in my tow, and we still have the pace advantage, because once he gets to White Fountain, if he does, he's going to need every, little tiny bit of ERS he can get.
Yeah, but it seems like
And
Chris
look at him, he's an
needs
overtake.
every.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
He needs every bit of VRS to stay with Lukey here, really. And so he has to use a whole lot of it, and he's not within a 1-second window as of right now. And yeah, he does not get the DRS on this straight here, on the start-finish straight. Very unlucky. But no DRS for either one of the Ferraris. And it seems like Lukey does have a slight pace advantage over White Fountain as of now. A couple of tenths, 3-4 tenths maybe, make it 5 if you will. But that's not going to be enough
Here comes
for
Simon.
the last 8 laps.
Outside of turn 1, he's trying it now. He's been waiting for this for so long, and he still hasn't got it done to his contact. He's going to be getting really impatient now behind TB.
Yeah, the one thing that could help Chris and Lukey here is that Simon might be under quite some pressure from King Jorid behind him. 3 seconds the gap, and Jorid is on the soft, so he's flying right now. Has the fastest lap of the race as of now. Just posted that one, a 1:30.2. He is over 2 seconds faster than Simon per lap.
Yeah, same to the race leader as well. He is flying along, but the grip will not last all the way till the end of the race, I don't think. But yeah, he should certainly catch the Red Bull then by the next 2 laps. Simon has got to get this done. He's had so many chances, but he just cannot make it work at the minute. Yeah, we'll see what he can do.
Yeah, I mean, he's stuck behind TB right now, and it's a very unfortunate position to be in, as Vitinho picks himself up a 3-second time penalty. That is not going to help him, but at the same time, he's in 12th position. Gap to front about 17 seconds, gap behind about 9, so...
Right, here's another chance.
It doesn't change much in the grand scheme of things.
What does Simon do this time? TB again, defensive on the inside. Is Simon going to try the undercut there? He tried it before. He's going to try it again. He's going to now try and force his rival wide. He's got it done. So Simon
a little bit
has
of wheel
done
banging there, but Simon was already more than halfway alongside, and not just alongside, more than halfway past.
Yeah.
It was his rear wheel, his left rear, that banged tires with the front right of TB. So I think that's... I personally would consider that to be a very legal overtake. But
yeah, it was fine. It's a fine
the steward, you never know with the stewards. You never know.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to have any problems with that, though. TB was done there. Lukey gets another penalty. I mean, that means if his tyres do fall off, then Luke could close up and nick a podium here. Depending on what penalties he's got, actually. Let me check that. No penalties for Luke.
Lukey just let Chris pass before 130R.
Right.
So Chris now in second. That cost both of them. I think that cost both of them at least half a second. Interesting move there. Now Lukey has the DRS.
TB with a penalty.
Maybe the call is that now that they know they probably won't get to White Fountain, just let Chris run ahead as he's maybe has slightly faster pace and he has no penalties, and let Lukey stay behind. I don't know what the calculation here is for the two of them, but I mean, they're talking with each other. They must know.
Well, they just need to make sure they don't faff like too much, because like I say, Luke is in a position if these two gentlemen stupid or the tires fall off to nick a podium here. He's only 2.3 seconds away from it. Or if Luke gets another penalty, yeah, of course.
All Lukey at this point needs is 2 more penalties, which means, let's see how many.
No, he just needs one more. He just needs one more penalty to fall out of the podium.
Oh, he got a second. Yeah, he just needs 3 more warnings, and that's about it.
Then again, there's 6 to go, 5 at the end of this one. We're nearly at the end of this one already, so I think he should be alright for that.
Yeah, but 3 warnings in 5 laps are easy to get.
Yeah, but he's only got 2 penalties in 21, so
I mean, yeah, but he also got his first penalty from the first warning to the first penalty. It took him 4 laps.
Yeah, okay. Fair
enough, then. Now we've got 5. It's certainly possible.
Here comes Jorrit now as a Scorpion gets a 5-second penalty.
Back ahead of Chris.
This is definitely some tactics within the team then. It doesn't feel like this is...
I think they're just trying to give each other slipstream and helping each other as much as possible on the main straight. But what they keep forgetting is that the dirty air just screws them over in the first sector so much that there's not that much gain out of it.
Sure, it's
a nice idea, but you know, you're not getting far because you're losing so much time here in the first sector, and even the first part of the second sector, all the way up to the hairpin, and then out of the hairpin, that's when you start gaining again from the slipstream.
Jorrit is now discovering what it's been like to be Simon the last few laps before he got past, because he is struggling like mad to get by TB. TB hasn't got the best pace in the world, but he's holding off the guy on much quicker tyres. By the way, Scorpion got a 5-second time penalty in that last lap for cutting the Cashew Triangle. That could put Simon up a place. So that is alright for him, I guess.
Oh,
so look
here
at this.
goes Jorrit! Ooh.
Nicely done, but
Around
he's not
the
going to
outside,
keep it.
Oh! You get squeezed out there by TB, and there is no overtaking it just yet. Now both on hot lap mode for TB, overtake for Jorit, and it seems like TB has a bit more pace, is going to stay ahead through 130R into the Cassia Triangle. He will also stay ahead. No heroics there.
Oh, he's sideways.
From Jorit, a lot of sliding there from TB, and now this is the chance with DRS. But remember, the start-finish straight is rather short for a start-finish straight on an F1 calendar. TB goes defensive, Jorit around the outside. No, the cutback. This time TB defends the cutback.
Yeah, he's learned.
He had it happen to him once, so he says no second time, not gonna happen, and defends it quite well. And Jorit starting to get into desperation mode, maybe.
It's weird. I'm watching Chris. And now he looks much quicker than Luke here. It's an odd situation, this. Luckily, they're both quicker than Luke, though. So, yeah, but Ferrari certainly messed about. It does feel like watching a real Ferrari performance, honestly. Oh, here goes Jorit as well. That was on TB. That one. He just left no space. He was moving under braking. That was, in my opinion, 100% TB's fault. I don't think he should be having a right to come back at this like this. He shouldn't be going for that after what he did before. He pushed him onto the grass, like.
I haven't seen it, so I can't comment on it, but I think the stewards are going to make a decision.
Well, he lost the place anyway, but Jorit did get a penalty. Maybe they'll take it off. But, it felt a bit unfair, that, because what happened was Jorit went for the inside, caught TB off guard, so what TB did, he started moving under braking and had King Jam, he was forced to cut the corner. He was on the grass and they came together. It shouldn't have been a collision. I just don't see how TB let that happen, but he's behind now. I just hope he doesn't do anything in retaliation. And he doesn't, he's not close enough.
Because that would ruin his own race, and he is currently on pace for 4 points, so...
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to ruin your own race like that, would you?
You don't want to let Cam catch up either, although probably at this point it's hard on in the best situation, or in the best condition.
Chris gets a 3-second time penalty in the second Degner there. His first of the race.
I can see someone's in the chat, but I can't actually see the chat, so I don't know what you're saying. Sorry. This is YouTube being YouTube.
Give me a second, I might be able to see it.
Yeah, I can't see it. Vitinho going for the fastest lap outside the top 10. Might as well, no one else fancies it.
There were a couple of chats there.
Anything interesting?
Well, Odoms is there.
Oh.
No, we love Odoms. Come on.
We love you, Odoms. We do. Please come out of retirement.
We love every member of the One Hub community.
I can come out of retirement, you can come out of retirement.
Yes.
Delayed by 3 weeks, obviously, but still. Counts.
Meanwhile, we are on the penultimate lap here, and White Fountain is just driving away with it. But behind...
How many wins would this be for him then? Would that be 12 for him this season if he takes this one? Or would it be 11?
It would be... Give me a second. Let me bring up the clever sheet. It would be win number 12.
Because, I mean, we must be looking at the record books to see what the highest total would be actually for wins in a season. Because there's a theoretical chance he can get, what, 16 wins this season? It's quite a lot.
If he wins the remaining races, yes, he would win 60. He would have won 16 out of 21.
Yeah, it's quite impressive. That would be... I'd be interested to see.
We need our stat man to maybe hand us that information. I wish we would have a stat man like on hand as we're streaming. Yeah, he could just feed us the stats. Like, I don't know. We
need a Ted Kravitz. I know Cam was sort of our Ted Kravitz. We need an actual Ted Kravitz. Nick, next season we need that, please. Thank you.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
That'd be fantastic, wouldn't it?
I mean, real F1 does have that. So
exactly. It works well there.
But, yeah. Usually I have my spreadsheet, but even on that, I would not have that kind of information.
We've got two Ferraris. Look like they're going to swap again. Because why not?
I mean, it is just for banter, really, isn't it?
Well, it is. I mean, this is like I say, a realistic take on what Ferrari actually do in the real races, because they just can't decide which order they want to finish in. No you, no you, no you.
Yeah.
Never change. But let's say the tires are going to make it anyway. No signs of wear.
I gotta say, I was about to do like a very bad impression of Charles Leclerc's race engineer, who's so his voice is just so very boring.
It's so odd, actually. It's not like it's bad, it's just odd.
It's so weird. Like
You will not have the drink.
Race engineer,
that was his best moment. With Charles, did not see many good moments yet.
Yeah. Every other race engineer just sounds like kind of enthusiastic, you know, like they have a personality. Leclerc's race engineer just goes, "You do not have the drink."
I love Seb's
like
engineer,
a robot.
though. Seb's engineer is the best. He's a legend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, final time for Wave Fountain through 130R. And
Look at him. Just cruising along. He's got loads of ERS still. Chris has used all his up. How does he do it, man? He's so quick. He's so calm and composed. And for the 12th time this season, he needs that promotion. Well, he will get it. But for the 12th time this season, White Fountain wins in one hub. Prestige tier. Chris is second. And Lukey is third. Luke on debut. Well, we know who I'm picking for my driver today. I'm sort of spoiling it here. But Luke, P4. Scorpion 5th, but with a penalty. I think Simon would take that.
Yes,
he does.
Simon P5.
Jorin 7th.
Jorin 7, TB8, Cam
8.
Cam 8.
TB9
and Okiki will be 10th.
Fastest
Unless
lap
he has
points.
30 seconds worth of penalties.
Fastest lap points are going to go to
disqualification.
Yeah, fastest lap points are going to go to Jorit and I think to Patino, unless Mike can set a faster lap on this try. He is going for one by the looks of it.
Yeah, he's 7.5 tenths up, but that wouldn't be enough. He needs more.
He's getting very close though now. We'll see how he does the cashew triangle. Needs a couple more tenths, but this could take that last point away. He's cut that last corner, but you can get away with that in this. So here he comes, Mike to the line. Will he take that fastest lap? No, he misses out by 10. So Vitinho will get that point. Hello, Cam.
Hello.
You sound so happy with that.
Safety car killed my strategy.
This is it. I was hoping that we'd get a bit more with the tyres, but yeah, the mediums. I said, and I was right with my prediction, thank God, that the mediums would just go forever and they would never wear out and they'd just keep the pace. Same with the hards. So it is like last year's game. So we did answer the question in the end. Softs just didn't seem to work at all. Even when Jory was catching, it just wasn't as quick as he thought it would be. Is that sort of how you felt in the cockpit there?
Yeah, I was catching. I was catching the rest of the field towards the end there, but I was just too far back. I wouldn't have been fine had there not been a safety car, but as soon as the safety car came out and it came time for me to pit, that was basically my race done.
Cam, if I may ask, if you could go back in time, would you have made a different decision and go on to the hards?
If I had known there was going to be a safety car, probably.
No. I mean, if during the safety car.
Yeah,
period.
during the safety car.
Yeah, or would you have still stayed out and tried?
I probably should have, but I was committed to the stretch. I was already.
So you think it might have been, now looking back, the better strategy to go into the pits for the hards? During the safety car period. All right. Yeah, that was the only question I had. Owen, we need to choose driver of the day. I know who you're going to pick.
You know who I'm picking. I'm going to pick Luke, the debutant, P4 from 5th on the grid. A solid debut. And,
move him up.
Well, he's racing premium. What did you say before, Austin? He'd be top 4. And where is he? 4th place.
Yeah.
So,
I called it.
Maybe race premium to win driver of the day.
Simon 5th. The top 5 are all race premium drivers.
Race premium driver of the day.
Hold on, who was 7th? Wasn't Jorit in
P7? Jorit. Is he going to be
also a race premium driver?
Just out of curiosity, is Jorit going to be your driver today? Because he would have been my second choice.
No.
Why? 17th to like 7th or whatever.
Listen, we still have to deal with an injustice Here in the precision tier,
don't.
White Fountain with 11 wins has only gotten
12.
2 drivers of the day.
Yeah. He was
He needs
boring.
more.
It was boring. No safety
was-
car. The safety
it
car
was-
made his race, not him. Mind you could argue about Jorit's race as well. But he had fun. He made overtakes.
Look,
For all we know, White Fountain could have no racecraft and we'd have no idea.
the thing is, White Fountain is probably going to get it anyway this time because Luke in his debut race was just so good. But still, White Fountain deserves more drivers of the day. He only got 2 of them,
no, he doesn't.
and he got 12 wins now. I nominate White Fountain, and you nominate Luke, and that's that.
With the wild card being Jorit. Anyway, we can introduce that.
No,
next
there's
season.
no wild card.
We have 1 wild card to use in the season. I'm using it. Is that a rule?
No,
No.
we don't.
Will it be in the future? Yes. Anyway, that is.
Don't I get a say?
No.
No.
Oh.
Sorry. Maybe next
Only
week.
real commentators do.
Ooh,
I'm sorry,
all right.
I had to.
I'm gonna
sorry,
slam you on
but-
Twitter now.
Go ahead. I like it hot and spicy on there.
I'm
Come on.
going to rage on twitter.com.
Yes.
Twitter.
Meanwhile, we are going to send you over now to the Pinnacle Tier, where they're still in qualifying for another 2 minutes and 10 seconds. So it's getting quite spicy there as
Jeez,
well.
we have to run it quite quickly then, don't we?
Yeah, the championship in the Pinnacle Tier is still wide open. There's 3 drivers: Westy, Cass G, I think, or Cass Egg, I don't know. I'm sorry if I mispronounced. No, I think it's Cass G, and Isla T. Leon, who are just 38 points apart.
Hold on.
all 3 of them.
Did Leon not just retire from league racing today? I'm pretty sure he's left.
Oh, did he?
Or
Well,
maybe,
then
he'll
it's
finish.
a-
Maybe he'll finish the season up. But I think I already announced he was
No,
leaving.
he's not. He's not participating in the qualifying.
Yeah,
there, so
he's
yeah, you might be right.
Retired then.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, it's shit.
Well, it's a 2-horse race then between Westy and Cass G.
We're wasting quite a lot of time anyway. We should probably let the
No,
actual
I'm just-
commentators of that tier.
I'm just trying to lead
the
over. Yeah,
usual
it's gonna
decision
be.
banter that is right.
It's gonna be. I think it's Kieran McGinley and Jamie Metcalf. Isn't that right?
Bunch of legends. Not as good as us,
Exactly.
obviously, but I mean, good in their own.
That's what you said. I'm not subscribing to that. But that being
One thing
said, you
you-
should subscribe
one
to
thing
One
you
Hub
should
Racing on YouTube.
And you could also subscribe to Race Premium. Is that really a thing? I mean, you could argue that it is subscribing. It's not that
Yeah.
expensive. It helps us all out. Funds your prizes, as do Next Level Racing. Thanks to them for sponsoring us. And yeah, like I say, White Fountain, he'll have his in the post soon, all of his prizes. So yeah, thank you them for being our sponsors.
And-
Thank you to you all for watching. Thank you to the top 5 in the race for conveniently being Race Premium. And we will see you all next week for the Mexican Grand Prix. Whoop whoop. Safe travels.